my pick is The Pomegranate by Pablo Picasso. I kind of connected it to the theme of The Labyrinth. I look at it and I see like the brassy tones. And there's a bunch of like, it gets confusing due to its like nature because everything is sort of fragmented, but you can still see like the bits and pieces to get like the full picture, like the king got through the labyrinth in the end. So that was my thought process.
And then I said, no, everybody else has been talking about walls and whatever. So I want to adopt this piece by Modigliani. It just says head, but it's an ancient female head. And what's missing in this text, and I said it already to Tur, is women. There are no women here, right? So I want to say, it is said by men worthy of belief, though Allah's knowledge is greater. Now, if it had said women worthy of belief, maybe Allah's knowledge wouldn't be better. So that's my, what's first?
Well, that was like the first thing I saw, and I think that's what drew me into the painting. Yeah.
Could you
read the passage? Okay, yes. So it says, "In Babylonia didst thou attempt to make me lose my way in a labyrinth of brass, with many stairways, doors, and walls. Now the powerful one has seen fit to allow me to show thee mine, which has no stairways to climb, nor walls to impede thy passage."
This was because I like color, so then it just drew me in. But then also there's these like two dancers, and it says so here that like they're the yellow dancers, and they kind of represent two different worlds to me. But then it all comes down to like their movement, and then it's all very geometrical, which is how I think of like a labyrinth. And then the last quote here, it says, "Movement and light destroy the materiality of bodies," and that kind of reminded me of this quote where it says, "In time there came to the court a king of Arabs and the king of Babylonia. To mock the simplicity of his guests, bade him enter the labyrinth, where the king of Arabs wandered, humiliated and confused, until the coming of the evening, when he implored God's aid and found the door." So then, to me, this kind of represented that same like movement and just clash of two different worlds that are both just kind of like doing their own thing, and then the fact that both of them have their own labyrinths and stuff, like it just reminded me of that.
Charles Schuler, for a couple of reasons. First, of course, there is the structure within the actual painting that emits sort of the same feeling that I believe the last sentence the sentence Samuel I'll repeat it. "In Babylonia didst thou attempt to make me lose my way in a labyrinth of brass with many stairways, doors, and walls. Now the powerful one has seen fit to allow me to show thee mine, which has no stairways to climb nor walls to impede my passage." So structurally, I feel like they connect. I also believe that throughout the entire reading, there is this discussion with a higher power, God, Allah, which to me, I feel like that discussion is something that you have usually with someone above you, so which I thought the clouds in the sky was the right setting, or had some sort of connection to the text. Also, in the end, they talk about being stranded in the desert, which is why I feel like the absence of any humans in this actual painting is appropriate.
I chose this one. This is David Alfredo Chris, End of the World from 1936. And it reminded me specifically of the last line, "Glory to him who does not die." But then it also reminded me of a passage that everyone's kind of been quoting. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Anyways, skipping that. Essentially, it reminded me of that particular passage, just in the sense of when we think about the end of the world, there's like this, I don't know if you can see, like there's this teeny tiny person, like even though everything is falling around him, there's still like one person who manages to survive. And then there was a part in this that was discussing walls and like labyrinths and like pieces of the border that were broken. I know I'm trying to find it, I just can't really figure out what it's at.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You gotta read it again.
Is the verse 7?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, sure. "In Babylonia didst thou attempt to make me lose my way in the labyrinth of brass with many stairways, doors, and walls. Now the most powerful one has seen fit to allow me to show thee mine, which has no stairways to climb, nor walls to impede thy passage." And so it just kind of reminded me that even in like the destruction of the world, that there's some freedom in that, and that even in the most destructive situations, even when your kingdom is torn down, there's always at least one person who would survive that. So,
He's the Choosing Here by David Smith. Flight, immediately I was attracted to it by the color. For some reason, I felt like it was just talking to me, and the color of this piece just, resonated with the text. And then the name, Flight, which automatically just gave me the spiritual feeling of Allah, essentially. Him just being a higher power, figuratively, excuse me, if I said that right. So, I was seeing a lot of stuff, but the passage one, I chose to connect it with the piece, and it says, it is said by men worthy of belief, though Allah's knowledge is greater, that in the first days there was a king of the Islas of Babylon who called together his architects and his priests and bade them build him a labyrinth, so confused and so subtle that the most prudent men would not venture to enter it, and those who did would lose their way. Like the ending part, working my way backwards, this is kind of confusing, and it just looks like something that has just lost its way, essentially. And the greater knowledge, I feel like, to what your mind can do with this piece, if you allow it to, may just pull out your greater knowledge to depict it.
Beautiful.
So I have chosen this word very related to the text, because as you see the title, the car jumps over the moon. It's very connected about the text that we read, and it's very interesting because both of them appear to me as children's work. It's a very kiddie thing for me. And as you see the one eye, it really showcases only one angle, one way of looking to the life, which is religion, and which is very different from, I don't know, maybe people like me who see the world. And this yellowness reminds me of camel, and also reminds me of the desert, and also Arab countries. And as you see, the small orange sunshine reminds me the brightness of hope, that there is always a way to find your way, even if you are too religious, even not religious, whatever, there is always a power. So I think this is very surreal, and I tie it to the text where it says, he tied